And maybe on that point, Shane, we're talking a lot here about La Rochelle and Ronan O'Gara. What did you make of the Toulouse performance today?
It was enough to win a European Cup, which means it was good enough, but it certainly wasn't them at their best day. And maybe that's a sign of a great team and a great club, and why they've had so much success over the years. But I don't think they delivered their peak performance. We saw flashes of real quality from their team, but not consistently throughout the game. But then again, they didn't need to, because La Rochelle were down to 14 men, and they made a bit of a rod for their own backs. They made some uncharacteristic errors, weren't accurate enough at times, and ultimately a couple of failed kicks as well cost them. So, as I said to Ronan in the interview, I thought tactically they looked in the best shape before they went down to 40 men. They adapted better to the weather conditions, certainly, than Toulouse. Toulouse still trying to overplay the ball a little bit. We saw how solid La Rochelle's defence was as well. It's the hallmark of any winning team, but down to 14 men was always going to be difficult, and it proved too much for them.
And maybe just even expand a bit more on the tactical side of things. What else did La Rochelle get right today?
Well, it was interesting at the start of the show when Ronan was talking about two different game plans, and I think we saw a very reduced game plan from La Rochelle. We didn't see them try to move a huge amount of ball wide. The ball was very slippy in that opening half in particular. It dried up towards the end of the game, and we saw a little bit more play for both sides. But before that, it really wasn't a game plan to try and move the ball wide. Now, they didn't do that. They carried the ball very effectively. And if you saw them at ruck time, they had a lot of latches on, rucked out really efficiently, kept the ball for long periods, which is exactly what you wanted to do in these type of conditions. But not just kept the ball for long periods, but kept it in the opposition half. So the territory stat was ridiculously in favour of La Rochelle at half time, even despite being down to 14 men.
Yeah, he said they were hesitant in that first 40 minutes. All that forward dominance maybe didn't show on the scoreboard. As for Toulouse and the coming years, spearheaded by the brilliant Intimac and the brilliant Dupont and these young French players coming through, they're going to be thereabouts for the next half a decade plus, aren't they? Yeah, they will, and they've a conveyor belt of talent. They're really well financed. They are an aristocratic club of Europe, and they showed it today. Maybe not in their performance, but certainly in getting their result. They have so many excellent players. Their age profile is really good. It's headed by two Frenchmen at half-back, the most important positions on the field. They will build around that, and this team could be a dynasty over the next number of years. There's nothing stopping them, and on a dry track they're a different team as well. I was a little bit underwhelmed in their performance today because of the conditions, but one, they won the game, and two, on a dry track they're a different team. Yes. Best players today, being there, getting to watch some of the movement off the ball. I know Dupont is somebody you're a big fan of. Who stood out?
Yeah, but interestingly, Dupont made a number of errors in the first half. So he wasn't as influential maybe as we were expecting. It wasn't a game for the Colbys, for the Duponts, for the Intimacs. Really, they kind of ground this game out. It was even across the field. It was doing just enough and doing what they needed to do, but not a day for the stars, but a day for graft.